Milton, an extraordinary poet, said, "The mind is its own place. It makes a hell out of heaven and heaven out of hell." So, whether you're going to experience a heavenly life or a hell of a life depends on the quality of your mind, said a poet in John Milton. You think you can, you think you can't. Either way, you're right, said Henry Ford, the industrialist. He is not doing it because he is more capable than you. He is doing it because he believes he can. You're not able to do it not because you're less capable than anybody in the world, but because you believe you can't, you can't. You think you can, you think you can't. Either way, you're right. An industrialist in Henry Ford said, so he again told you, much before what happens with your life, how you think is very, very important. He pointed you again back to your mind. Norman Vincent Peale, a motivational speaker, he said, God never gives you an idea without the power to achieve it. God never gives you an idea without the power to achieve it. The fact this idea came to you and not somebody else, there is a story in that idea. There is a purpose in that idea. That's why you have been given this. An idea is about thoughts. So he said, God is expressing a purpose to your life by implanting certain ideas into you. People who they became what they become because they gave value to that idea. They pursued that idea. They turned those ideas into reality. And people who ignored those ideas as just another thought in the thought traffic of their own mind missed it. Whatever the mind of a man can conceive and believe, it can achieve, said Clement Stone. Whatever the mind of a man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. With historical evidences, he has tabulated the whole thing. He is again pointing you back to your mind. So everybody is, in whatever historical possibilities they are illustrating for human potential, everybody is pointing you back to your mind. And hence the talk today, thought leadership. So the mind of the man is the man. Those of you who have attended discourses, what about you changed by attending discourses? Not mine, any discourse. The person who's delivering the discourse gives you certain ideas, and when they become your ideas, something in your thought process changes, and that becomes your change. Why do you read self-development books? Why do you read scriptures? What are they trying to do? 18 chapters of question and answers. What was Krishna trying to do? Change the mind of Arjuna. And once the mind of Arjuna was changed, Arjuna realized. So which means Arjuna was always a capable warrior. But he had a bottleneck which was not allowing him to express what he was capable of. And the moment the mind of Arjuna was transformed through question and answer sessions, Arjuna started doing what he was always capable of doing. Why did Jesus Christ teach in parables? What was he trying to do through parables? Tell stories with a moral, tell stories with a moral, and thereby explain life to those 12 epistles, who in turn compiled the entire Bible and gave it to the world. What was he asking you to do? Work on your thought processes. Look into all the dharma of every religion. Look into the scriptures. Look into self-development books. Look into mentoring. Look into thought leadership. Look into all the books that are delivered to you. Look at every discourse. The essential process. In parenting, why do you keep talking to your children? What are you trying to achieve? When you say, I'm motivating my employees, what are you doing? In all these things, even an emotional change in the other can be achieved only by changing the thought process of that individual. The mind of the man is the man. Change the mind, you have changed the man. The mind of the man is the man. So develop a powerful mind. And you have developed a powerful man, which is way beyond your chartered accountancy, your MBA, your MBBS, your BE, beyond all those educational qualifications that you have. They all have filled your mind with a lot more information. But developing a powerful mind is beyond educational qualification. That is why sometimes it surprises you. A man with phenomenal qualification does not necessarily achieve great things in life. And sometimes you're surprised to see how many people without the sort of educational qualification still go on to accomplish phenomenal things in life. Of course, it's an extraordinary combination if you can also have a powerful mind, which is an educated mind. Extraordinary combination. Then the possibilities are limitless. So how do we develop the right mind? How do we develop the right thought process? How do we develop a powerful mind? Where do we begin? First, to understand, your mind can be developed only through your own attention and awareness. Not because you have listened to a speech. Entire 2 hours of speech that you have listened to is nothing more than entertainment to you, unless somewhere in the entire 2 hours, something I said changed the way you think. That's your transformation. If you have all the information on pen and paper or in your memory, this talk is still an information exchange. But somewhere some thought process of yours has changed, then it's called transformation. Transformation is transformation. I came into this program with certain formation of thoughts, and through these 2 hours, I transcended the old formation into a new formation, and I went back with a new formation of thoughts. And only when the formation of your thought process by which you look at life as of 7:30 somewhere underwent a change by 9:30, then it's transformation. Otherwise, we have just exchanged information. Let's begin. You have to pay attention to your mind, and paying attention to your mind is paying attention to your thoughts. And your thoughts are constituted by many raw material, and one of the prime raw material of your thoughts are your words. Without improving the quality of your vocabulary, you cannot improve the quality of your thoughts. Without improving the quality of your thoughts, you cannot improve the quality of your mind. The easiest way to begin, much before we want to stand in one leg and meditate, embrace, simplest thing to do is watch your words. Watch your words. What are your dominant vocabulary? For example, with great freedom we use the word problem. Everything is problem for us. Simple things also problem. Morning constipation is there also, it's a problem. Constipation means it's not coming. Morning you have a loose motion also, it's a problem. Loose motion means keeps on coming. That's the difference. It's a problem. Newspaper does not come on time, it's a problem. Coffee is too hot, it's a problem. Coffee is not hot, problem. Traffic, problem. Everything is a problem. AC really works well, it's too cold for you, problem. AC does not work, you sweat, problem. In fact, we use the word problem with such great liberty. Everything is a problem. You know what the word problem emotionally means to your system, to your intelligence? The moment you use the word problem, you're saying, the situation I'm facing is greater than me. The moment you have told yourself, the situation I'm facing is greater than me, you have lost the strength to fight it. A very simple, subtle change. My throat like this is not a problem. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I have a throat problem. This is throat problem. Throat cancer is throat problem. A dry throat is not, but throat problem. It's not a problem. The moment you replace the word problem with challenge, you know what you're saying? I am bigger than the situation I'm facing. It puts you into a resourceful state where you can handle. There is a lion in front of me, and I'm standing with barren hands. I have a problem. The situation in front of me is greater than me. There's a lion in front of me, and I have an AK-47 gun with me. Lion has a problem. I only have a challenge, which means when the resources I have is greater than the situation I face, it's a challenge. When the resources I have is lesser than the situation I face, I have a problem. And internally, the moment you use the word problem, you're telling your entire system, I don't think I have the capacity to handle this. So you are incapacitating yourself by your own vocabulary. In the times of Mahabharata, Krishna and Balram are going from one place to another place where they have to cross the forest to reach the other destination. And somewhere it's already sunset. Mahabharata times, so there is no forest resort for them to stay. There's no torchlights to carry. No GPS system to carry them. So by the time it's dark, Krishna makes a suggestion to Balram. He says, first you sleep. I'll keep doing sentry work to protect you so that no animals come and eat you off. Whenever I feel sleepy, I'll wake you up. And let's take turns. So Balram immediately says, no, you sleep first. Because if I sleep, you will not be able to wake me up. And Krishna goes off to sleep, and Balram decides to do sentry. So one monster appears. Mythology. Vedavyas is projecting a monster to you for a reason which you will understand at the end of the story. A monster appears in front of Balram and finds who is there in my territory. So to scare him, the monster screams at Balram. Balram gets scared. Balram shrinks, monster expands. So the monster again screams at Balram. Balram is scared even more. Balram shrinks even further, the monster expands even further. One last time the monster screams at Balram. So scared, Balram screams, Krishna, and he faints. Krishna wakes up. Krishna somehow thinks Balram has immediately gone to sleep. He didn't know he had fainted. So Krishna starts walking. The monster sees, Are, Naya Admi? From where this fellow came? So again the monster is quite big now. So it screams at Krishna. Krishna looks at the monster and asks, what do you want? The monster shrinks a little and Krishna expands. The monster screams at Krishna again. Krishna says, that's what I'm asking you. What do you want? Why are you screaming? The monster shrinks further and Krishna expands right now. The monster looks at Krishna and screams one more time. Krishna looks at the monster and asks, what do you want? The monster becomes so small. Krishna takes that monster. Those days, jeans were not there. So in the dhoti, in that corner, he makes a knot out of the monster, puts that inside. And by then it's morning. So Balram and Krishna are walking. And as they are walking, Balram tells Krishna, you don't know what happened last night. Krishna asks, what happened? One monster came and it kept on getting bigger and bigger. And as Balram is presenting the whole thing, Krishna slowly opens that knot, puts that monster in the palm of his hand and says, you're talking about this fellow? So immediately Balram asked Krishna, when I saw it was so big, how it became so small? Krishna smiles at Balram and says, when you avoid what you must face, it becomes bigger than you. When you face what you must face, you become bigger than it. And this monster which Vedavyas is referring to is anything which you see as a problem. Vedavyas just want you to know your problems are becoming bigger than you because you're giving them that status by avoiding. You're just avoiding. People say, I'm scared of public, so I don't want to do public speaking. It's the other way around. Because you're not facing the public, you're scared of public. Face them a couple of times, they'll get scared. I repeat, when you avoid what you must face, it becomes bigger than you and takes control over you. When you face what you must face, you become bigger than it. And you gain control over it. The first shift that we make, and it's not a difficult shift, from right now, this instant, the word problem is banned from your vocabulary. It will not come out of your tongue. You have a situation to handle. You have a situation to handle. When I am greater than what I face, what can be seen as a problem? Papa ka chest pain ho gaya. You have a challenge. You have to just take him in the right time to the doctor and get the doctor to attend. Certain treatments will be done. Maybe a surgery will be done, and Papa will come back and be part of you for another 25 years. You have only a challenge to handle. A new competition has come. Big problem, not big problem, small challenge. Because competition always creates a more educated market. See, if you don't have competition, telling the market what is available, pura expense is yours. When you have competition, all the competitors increase the demand in the market. Now you have to only tell the market why they have to buy from you. If you don't have competition, you have to tell the market why they should buy. And competition gives you an educated market. It overall increases the demand for your products and services phenomenally. You have a challenge. And the challenge is to tell in that competitive market why they should come to you. My children, major problem, they don't study properly. There is something called genetical inheritance. If every parent can remember their marks, they will never see children not studying as a problem. They will say, Mera beta. Like father, like son, like mother, like daughter. And it's not a problem. It is just that the existing methodology with which we teach, the child is not able to grasp the subject. He will open up. People come for counseling. My children are not studying properly. What to do so that they will study properly? Where is your son? One little one comes. Second standard, third standard. I tell the child, now counseling is not for you, for parents. You go and wait outside. I have to talk to your parents now. How many of you who are reasonably successful sitting here actually were first rank holders and school toppers? Huh? If there is evidence that not necessarily every first rank holder comes first in life, and backbenchers don't remain backbenchers in life. And I don't have to search for examples outside. Samne baitha hai. You people. How many of you, your teachers never thought, even today when I go and see my teachers in school, when I meet my classmates who used to study with me, they tell me you're a spiritual accident. There is no connection between who you were and what you do. Kaisa? I said, I also don't understand, but it's happening, so let it continue to happen on this. But that's the point. And it's not a problem. Probably the right tuition teacher, maybe the right friend, right breakthrough. Maybe one day this child will discover a subject of passion and the child will turn things around. It's not a problem, it's a challenge. So first we bring about a major shift in our vocabulary. The word problem is banned. And we replace it with challenge. Hope. Hope is a doubting word. I hope I make it in life. Which means part of you is saying, Malum nahi. I have faith I will make it in life. You're not creating any doubts. Why do you have to create internal doubts? If the world does not believe you can do it, it's not going to affect you as much as if you don't believe you can do it. Anywhere you use the word hope, you are basically saying, I'm not sure about it. Replace it with faith. I have faith I will do it. I have this conviction I'll be able to do it. I believe I will be able to do it. And look at the resoluteness with which your mind will think. A small shift in vocabulary. Are you understanding? When you shift a word, you're shifting the quality of your thoughts, thereby the quality of your mind, thereby the quality of who you are. You have to right now create a dramatic shift in the quality of vocabulary you use, and it's going to have a tremendous impact the way your mind works. Words like great, flourish, abundance, top of the world, excellent, marvelous, flowing, flourishing should become so natural rather than yo kyun pooch raha hai? How are you? Such a simple thing. And you should see the sort of responses you get from people. How are you? Sometimes you feel it's a mistake you ask them such question. How are you? Pulling on. How are you? ऊपर आसमान नीचे जमीन बीच में मरता है. How are you? In fact, English people wanted to make it easier for you. So when anybody who understands English etiquette, one fellow asks, how are you? Other fellow asks, how are you? Neither of them even reply to each other. How are you? How are you? Thank you. Thank you. Both of them go. Nobody wants to even reply to each other. Anybody asks me, how are you? And they don't wait for my reply, I always scream to them, I'm suffering from leprosy. They immediately start, kya bola? I said, I'm on top of the world. Next time when you ask me, how are you, wait for my reply. Otherwise, don't ask. And people are okay with this. You ask me, how are you? I say, top of the world. Why? This is like, in my house, electricity is not there. First thing I want to check, udhar bhi nahi hai, theek hai, okay. That's all. That's important. So I am suffering in life, you are also suffering. Theek hai, okay. I am suffering in life, how you are on top of the world? Why? How? So it's about shift in vocabulary. Look at the languaging we use. Hell of an opportunity. Why opportunity is hell? Is it not heaven of an opportunity? She is deadly. What are you trying to say? Mar jayega kya ho? Is she not lively? He is dressed to kill. Why you have to dress to kill? Stinking rich. That's why you are not becoming rich. Because you don't want to stink. Look at the language we use. He's not stinking rich. Fragrantly rich. Money smells good. Huh? Good perfume. Stinking rich means you have to buy cheap perfume. Think. There has to be a sea shift in the languaging we use. And one definite shift we will bring is kill the word problems from your vocabulary and replace it with challenges. You have a situation to handle. Improve the quality of your vocabulary to improve the quality of your thoughts. And when you improve the quality of your thoughts, you improve the quality of your mind. When you improve the quality of your mind, because the mind of the man is man, when you improve the quality of the mind, it improves the quality of your life. Not only we will bring in a lot of resourceful, good vocabulary into our community, take help. As a family, help each other. Anytime you're using a vocabulary which is going to pull you down, anytime you're using a vocabulary which is derogatory, look into the speeches of all great people. There's a lot of strength in their vocabulary. Think about anybody you look up to in life. And one of the key qualities in all of them you look up to in life is there is a lot of strength in the vocabulary that they use. So not only you're going to bring a lot of strength to your vocabulary, I think another shift is also required. I went through that personally. I used to speak a lot of bad words. And I'm not talking about when I was young. After I started becoming a teacher in life, I used to still speak a lot of, my speeches used to use the words which are absolutely filthy with great freedom. And I used to think that was drawing youth into all my programs. I remember October 1995, I had delivered a speech and I used the F word 4 times during my speech. My father-in-law happened to attend that program. A man who will not easily appreciate. A man who will see Taj Mahal and say it could have been done better. A man who will see Mona Lisa and feel that you could have added 2 more strokes. A person who has he won't even appreciate himself. He also has great expectations from himself. That day, my dinner happened to be in my in-laws' place, and when I had gone there, he came from behind and said, Ra, today your speech was a garland full of roses. I turned to say thank you to him before I could complete. He said, but there were 4 thorns in it. Immediately, with an attitude to justify, I told him, if you have to appeal to the younger generation, you have to speak their language. Why do you think so many youngsters come to my program? It's because I speak their language. Immediately, my father-in-law said, everything that comes out of a human being stings. Our sweat stings. Our phlegm stings, our blood stings, our urination stings, our excreta stings. Everything that comes out of a human being stings. The only thing that can be sweet that comes out of a human being are your words. If you keep justifying even that about you is going to sting, then there is nothing human about you. And then he immediately added, he said, you are listening to a lot of modern day speakers and feel they use filthy vocabulary in their language and hence I will also use. But just remember, people like Swami Vivekananda never used any vocabulary in their communication that will make another person feel like shrinking. In fact, when people like Swami Vivekananda spoke, people listened to the words in communication and blossomed. They never shrank. And he said, if you communicate, you should communicate in such a way, listening to your words, the world should flower and not shrink. I don't think from that day to today, talking about transformation, it was not an information. I didn't listen to it and feel, hey, acha hai, future speeches mein use karenge. I didn't think like that. I transcended the old formation of how I used to communicate to. Everything changed in an instant. So not only we will bring in a lot of strength to the language with which we communicate, but we will also do one thing. Just make the decision. You get nothing except feeding an ugly dog within you when you scold bad words on the road, when you scream at people on the road. That's one place where we use a lot of bad vocabulary. And your child is sitting there and your child will pick up all your languaging. Let's teach strength of vocabulary to the next generation and not filthy language to the next generation. And you have to be in the vocabulary of what you communicate. That is thought leadership. The quality of vocabulary I use will improve the quality of my thoughts, and thus I will teach my children on how to think with proper vocabulary, and that is how I'm going to lead myself and lead my children in proper thought leadership, by developing strength of vocabulary. 2, simple talk. This is not going to be like science of spirituality where you have to listen, go back and contemplate and decide what to do. Simple talk. Everything that I discussed today can be taken right now, this evening. can be implemented and bring about a shift in the quality of your life. 2, become an opportunist in thinking. Become an opportunist in thinking. See, your mind is the spectacles through which you look at life. When you step into a city, let's say you go to Mumbai, you step into Mumbai, there are beautiful things about Mumbai and there are ugly things about Mumbai. You step into Chennai, there are beautiful things about Chennai, there are ugly things about Chennai. You walk out of the airport into Kolkata and there are magnificent things about Kolkata and there are ugly things about Kolkata. An opportunist in thinking is, why don't you, unless you want to be a social reformer where you want to know what is wrong and I want to correct it. If your interest is developing yourself, your family life, your business, your organization, and you're not really thinking in terms of being a political reformer, a social reformer, a spiritual reformer, and right now it's about, why don't you then see what you want to see? Why don't you then appreciate what you want to appreciate? Why don't you focus on what you want to focus on? You can step into Kolkata, wear the spectacles, it's a city of joy. Like something I really appreciate.